Welcome back. In this video we are going to start talking about the prebatch definition and specifically what is referred to as the IDF prebatch portion of the file or the top section of a prebatch definition. And as we mentioned earlier, this section of the prebatch definition and all of the attributes that it contains applies to the prebatch definition as a whole, not just to a specific prebatch component that may be defined. So there are four attributes that we're going to look at that can exist in this top section of the prebatch definition, and they are the ID, expand quantity at prebatch, output profile ID, copies divisor, and copies multiplier. So I guess that would be 5, not 4. So the ID basically is just a unique identifier for the prebatch definition, and this needs to be unique. If you have two prebatch definitions that have the exact same ID, that will run you into problems. And there's one caveat to that we will discuss here in a second. The next attribute we're going to look at is expand quantity at prebatch. And typically this is something that's automatically done at batch time to kind of follow the lines of an optimized PDF so that we're not sending a whole bunch of pages into the batch process. But there are situations that can warrant expanding out the prebatch content during the prebatch process. And we'll take a look at some of those here in a little bit. The next attribute is output profile ID, and we're not going to really get into output profiles within this part of the series because it's going to be its own section here down the line. But the output profile ID is the exception to where you would have multiple prebatch definitions with the same ID, because then it becomes the combination of the prebatch ID along with the output profile ID that makes that prebatch definition unique. And the last two items here, the copies divisor and copies multiplier, as the names imply, allow you to take a specific value that you put in and either multiply the quantity out at prebatch or divide into the quantity at prebatch. And we'll take a look at those here in a little bit as well. So up next, we are going to practice a little bit and play around with these different attributes that we have described in the previous slide. Okay, so that's it for this video, and I will see you shortly in the user interface.